What's good, fam? Look, if you came across this video and you struggling with money in your life right now, or you struggling with dating in your love life, I made this video specifically for you. And I'm going to break down a few things that's going to help you start making changes in your life so that you can get a better result. And before I get into that, if you're new here, I want to say welcome in. This is a self-development space specifically for helping people become the best version of themselves and create the life that they always wanted to live. So if you're new here, I appreciate if you smash the like button, and if you enjoy this video at the end, subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can get notified when I drop heat here on YouTube. And if you're not new here, I want to say I love and I appreciate all the support, and we're going to get right into it. When it comes down to money, I'm going to hit that first. I need you to understand that you have to get to a point where you look at your relationship to money. Don't just look at the physical dollar or the physical money. It's not just that. You have a relationship to money, and that's something I didn't know. So I'm sharing that because I don't want you to take as long as it took me to learn and keep struggling. What I mean by that is, if you look at money, a lot of people have a toxic relationship with money. You're constantly worried and anxious if you're going to have it. When it's time to give money or dish it out, you're anxious, you're scared to let it go, you're worrying about if the money's going to come back, you're scared about being without, insecure, you're not happy, you angry, frustrated. When it comes down to money, feeling like you don't have what it is you want from it, instead of being grateful towards it, all of these different things, and then you constantly worrying about it. That's a toxic relationship. Like, if money were a person, you got to ask yourself, with all of those different things, would somebody want to be around somebody like that has that type of energy towards it? The answer is no. So understand, when you move these ways, you're a repellent for money. I'm trying to tell you, any financially successful person or wealthy person has learned that. It's all about how you relate to money. So how you start making a shift is the simple things. I'm not going to give you the complex things. It's the simple things. Being able to be grateful for whatever it is you got now. Look, hell, if you even only got $50, $100, a couple $100 in your bank account, be able to be like, you know what? I'm grateful and I'm thankful for whatever this amount of money that I have in my possession. I'm grateful for it, and the fact that it's allowed me to do what it is that I need to do. If you have to spend money, especially if it's money you didn't expect to have to spend, or it's a lot more than you would like to, don't worry about being without. Be willing to let that money go and be like, you know what? I willingly let this money go, knowing that at some point it'll come back. What I did, a shift that I made that has helped me a lot as somebody who has struggled through practically my whole life up until the last year around money, just having an extremely toxic relationship. And it's ironic that I'm from a beach city, a coastal city, and I go to the beach or the waterfront, the harbor front often. And I started looking at the waves every time I go out to a waterfront, and I realized it just doesn't stop. It's crazy when you think about it, honestly. And I was like, that's how I want to look at money. Like, you know what? There is no shortage of it. If it goes out just like a wave, at some point another one or more money has to come in and replace it, just like how waves. No wave just goes out and doesn't get replaced by another. So there is no shortage. And when I started making those, and it didn't happen overnight, let me just put that disclaimer. This is a process. Depending on how long you've been in this state of mind, it's a process, and it doesn't happen overnight. So you got to give yourself grace. But I started gradually changing my mindset, like implementing these thoughts. And before long, over a period of time, I started just naturally looking at things differently. And that's what it is. Like, it's all about how you look at it, your relationship. And that'll help you have peace and not be so anxious and attached and toxic when it comes down to money. You actually have a trust that, you know what? I have enough. What I have now is enough. And you know what? If I just be the best version of myself, have the right mindset, the right amount of gratitude towards it, more will come. The more gratitude you put out, the more positive energy that you put towards something, the more peace that you have, and the more that you can walk like that six-figure earner or that millionaire that you want to be or aspire to be, the more you can carry an energy like, you know what, you ain't worried about where you are now, and you moving like you already got everything you ever wanted. It won't be long, or at some point, you'll see exactly that. And I'm telling you, so many people, you look at life and what happens in your life. And what you don't understand a lot of times is life is responding to you. We think we're reacting to life. No, that's not how it really works. In all honesty, life is reacting to who you are being, meaning how you feel internally, which means your level of peace, your emotional state, how you feel about things. If you stressed, if you're in survival mode, if you're doing things to inspire you, if you in a higher state, that's what life is responding to you. Versus if you're in a negative state, if you worried, if you stressed, whatever you are, whatever you being, life is going to give you things that match that. So I say that to say, when it comes down to money, it ain't just the dollars. No, it's what you do, it's how you feel, and how you relate to it. If you don't hear anything else, change you, and how money shows up in your life will change. And another thing is that a lot of us struggle, and I say us because I recently stepped out of it. If you're just working a job simply for survival and to collect a check, and what you're doing is not something that you actually truly enjoy doing and doesn't light your soul up and makes you feel alive inside, that's also a demerit. That's also something that's keeping you from what it is you want. Because I guarantee you, you can look at your favorite icons or successful people, whether it's a social media influencer, a TV personality, your favorite professional athlete, an artist, an actor, whatever it is, you name it. None of them created wealth in their life doing something based off of, well, you know what? I know I need to pay my rent. I know I need to pay my car note, my insurance, all of this. I know I just need to do this so that I can be able to get by or to have my benefits. No. None of them created the life that they wanted. All of the things that a lot of people sit back and be like, wow, look at their life. Look at what they've accomplished. They didn't do that doing that shit. So if you somebody like that, you need to sit down and look at, hear me and hear me well. At some point, you got to sit down and for a second be like, fuck the money. Fuck it. Set that shit to the side. If you had no need, no worry about money, your survival, your bills, none of that, and you had free reign to wake up and do something that you actually love and enjoy doing, something where you wake up like, damn, I can't wait to get started or spend time on this. What would that be, or what would those things be? That's what you need to do. And you need to trust that at some point, if you do that and you keep watering it, it's not going to happen overnight. I'm telling you from prime example, I'm in the process of it. It doesn't happen overnight. But a seed, a plant, an apple tree, you don't eat apples off of a tree the day that you plant the seeds. No, just water. Once you know what it is that makes you feel alive and makes you light up and makes you feel amazing, you water your plant, keep watering it consistently, and don't stop. Just keep going. And eventually, you will be able to live and be able to make whatever money that you were making off of that punk ass job that you only going to collect a check. I'm not even gonna say that, but at bare minimum, you're gonna make the money that you were making off of a job, but you will 10, 20, 50, 100 times what you were making. The more you pour into your gifts and the things that God, the universe, whatever you want to dress it up at as your higher calling, your higher being that you believe in, until you start watering the thing that's inside of you that you were born with, that will provide everything that you need. You have to develop a belief system that, you know what, this is what it is. I believe that. I'm going to stand on that with my actions and just keep doing it until you see that in your life. It's a choice. You can either sit where you are now, struggling with money, struggling doing something that you hate doing just to collect a punk ass job, a punk ass paycheck, just so you can barely get by, take your 1 to 2 little vacations a year, and whatever else it is. Or you can lean into what's on the inside of you, your passion, the things that make you light up and feel alive and that you truly love and enjoy doing, and let that bring the value, which that's all money is a value exchange. Let those things bring everything that you really want in. It's a mindset shift. It's an attitude shift. It's an action shift. It's a belief shift. When you can do those things, your life will change. I promise you. God be my witness. If you don't hear nothing else, just try it and stick with it and watch what happens. I'm telling you. Next thing, when it comes down to relationships, for the folks that are single, you struggling with dating, and there's a lot of guys I know that are struggling. I can tell you from prime example, as somebody that was a late bloomer, I was not getting girls. Y'all excuse my language because I'm gonna get raw. I wasn't one of those ones. There's a lot of people that get on social media and they talk about, giving relationship advice and as if they always had it figured out. No, I'm telling you, as somebody who was not getting bitches. I was not. I'm telling you straight up. I was a late bloomer. I had to build from the ground up. Like, if you look at, I use Steph Curry as a prime example. Steph Curry was not always the shooter that he was. He literally had to break his shot down to the very smallest detail and literally learn how to shoot the ball from the very basis. And he just built it up to what you see today. Now, I'm not Steph Curry when it comes down to dating or whatever, at least not yet. But I'm just giving that as an example. You have to start somewhere. A lot of you all, you don't have the dating life you want because you're not even on the court. You don't have the dating life that you want because you refuse to pick up the ball and even attempt to shoot a shot. Not even to say to make a shot. You're not even trying. And you wonder why every weekend you sitting lonely wishing you were going on a date with a beautiful girl, or you had a girl in your apartment or wherever else it is, and you don't have it. Life responds, like I said earlier, life responds to you. What you water grows. What you put in, you get out. So at the bare minimum, you have to get out, get on the court, and start getting shots up. Meaning, if you eventually start taking shots, fuck it. If you airball a few times, you know what? Sit back instead of being like, damn, I fucking suck. I'm lame, I'm whack, or whatever, man. This shit is too hard. I can't do this. And all of the other BS things that we say at points, a lot of you say. Sit back and be like, okay, why did I airball? What did I do? Play back in your head the whole scenario. Why did I airball? And I'm just using basketball as an example. Why did I airball? And look at, okay, well, I did that. Okay, let me try and shoot different. Okay, and you do that. This time you don't airball. You may hit the front of the rim or you may hit the backboard. Okay, I hit the backboard. Let me look at what I did. Let me see what I can do differently. You try and do something. This time it bounces around the rim. Okay, I was close there. Let me see, what did I do that's different from the times that I missed, where this time around I was close? Okay, you make your adjustments. This time you shoot, whoosh, straight. And that's how you do it. Then once you hit a shot, you're not gonna hit every shot. You sit down and success leaves clues. You look at, okay, what did I do that I made this shot? And then you do that. You may miss a couple other times. Then you see, swish, you hit another shot. Okay, I see what I did. You compare what you got right that time to the first time you got success. And it's like, okay, you see a pattern. When I do this, this works. Whoosh, whoosh. And now before long, you've gotten a chance to really see what works. And now you're building confidence because you've seen the ball go through the basket a few times. That's the same thing with girls. You go out, you see a beautiful girl you want, you start a conversation. When you start a conversation, ask an interesting question, or if you see something about a girl that you find attractive, tell her. And don't just say it. Don't try and be all corny. Make her feel what it is that you're saying. Girls are emotional. If you really tell them in a way where that makes them feel something emotionally, where they gonna remember, damn, this guy really noticed something about me, that's how you do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you do that, and if it doesn't work, cool. Something that doesn't work with one girl will work with another girl. It's trial and error. And then before long, you're getting reps and you're gonna start realizing certain things just really kind of resonate with certain girls, gets a certain response out of certain girls where they tend to really fuck with it and they really vibe with you. And when you get to a point where you further along, you really vibing with the girl, then you get to a point, okay, I got it. Now I can set a date, not asking for Snapchat, not just asking for Instagram. What you do is, based off of the conversation, hopefully you talked about a couple of things that you two may have in common. For example, if you all talked about food or something like that, what you do is you seed and suggest a restaurant that we should hang out at, so-and-so restaurant that fits around what you were talking about. You know, that way it makes sense. If that's what it is that she agrees with, all you're doing is you're making plans to continue the interaction, the conversation that you already having now. All you're doing is just setting up another opportunity for you all to continue talking and just building on the vibe. That's all it is. Whereas if you extend an invitation and if you did everything right, she'll be with it. Now it makes perfect sense. Well, we got exchange phone numbers and or Instagram. And I said and or because you don't want to get an Instagram. That's not the main thing. You actually want to get a number so you can call a girl, FaceTime her, whatever the case is. Instagram, that's for the fans. Fuck that shit. Get a phone number once you've done that. It just makes natural sense. And then from there, you just building. And you just keep doing this thing, keep getting reps in, no matter where you at. If you just at a point of starting a conversation, if you at a point where you're trying to figure out how to give a compliment or go for the close, setting a date or getting a phone number, wherever you are, get reps in. Just like basketball, get reps in, and I promise you, you're not gonna suck forever. Eventually, you're gonna figure out patterns, what works and what doesn't. You do those things, you're watering your plant, you're putting in input, and eventually you're gonna get a return on that. That's all the dating shit is. We make this shit so much more complicated than what it needs to be. And you don't have to be at a point where you just single, lonely, without feminine connection, which that's all most guys want. That's why most guys are watching porn and other things, because it's just filling the gap of you not having that connection that you want from a woman. If you had that, you would not be watching that bullshit. Point blank, period. So do the work, and I promise you, you will get what it is you want. I promise you. So if any of that resonated with you, you struggling with your dating life, you struggling with money or anything in your lifestyle, I want to let you know that I created a community specifically for people, like I said earlier, for self-development, trying to be the best version of yourselves. I created a community for people where I have resources to help you to do that. If that's something that resonates with you and something that you may be interested in, the information will be in the description. Or if you need specific one-on-one coaching, I offer one-on-one coaching as well. You can DM me over on Instagram. I've got the information all in the description below. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all with all the love and support. If this resonated, share this to somebody else that can benefit, that needs help in their life. And like, comment, so that I can get this out to as many people. I appreciate y'all. And I want you to know and remember that where you go and what you do in your life, that's 100% all on you. And you got it. I promise you do. So y'all know what it is. We cleaning this thing up. One video, one conversation at a time. And until next time, peace and love.